Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, and we again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. This is my favorite time of the day to trade. During the daytime, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They are in control of the price. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. The algorithms are turned off. The large financial institutions step in with size. They're dealing with the most money. They start taking the control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms. And I consider them smart money. And that's why I like to make the majority of my swing trade decisions at the end of the day based upon what they are doing. So thank you so much for coming today. It's always nice to see everyone. I always appreciate you investing your time here and spending it here in the channel. I hope it's helping you with your trading and with your investing. So thank you all for coming. I always appreciate it. It's good to see everyone. Hi, Dan. How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Evan is here. Hi, Evan. Good to see you. Good to see Evan. Good afternoon to you. Glenn is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Glenn's having some good trades today. Miko is here. Hey, Miko. Miko25, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's well in your life. Christopher Hitchin. Hey, good to see you, Chris. Haven't seen you for a bit. So nice to see you. Thank you for coming. All right, well, let's see what's going on. The Dow is currently down 278 points, down 1%. The NASDAQ, which has been positive most of the day, is now red, down 33 points, down 0.32%. And the S&P is down 20 points, down 0.63%. So been kind of a wild and crazy day. I guess that's par for the course these days. All right, so listen, this is the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a few day trades today. I will go over those as well. Then we're going to go over and check out your trades, and we're going to see how you're doing. I see a couple of them are doing really well, and so we'll go through the board and see how everyone's doing on their positions. After that, I'm going to talk a little bit about trader psychology, trader philosophy, get away from the charts and entries and all that kind of stuff, and basically talk about the mental part of trading, which in my opinion is the most important and most valuable skill you can learn in trading. After that, I have gone down through my watch list, and I have gone down through Kamal's scanner, and I have some candidates, end of day candidates. I do have 3 requirements before I enter a new trade. First requirement, I want to make sure I have a combination or a confluence of indicators lining up. I look at each indicator like MACD, RSI, ATR channels, moving averages. I look at these as potential groups of buyers, and I like to see them line up not on just one time frame but on multiple time frames if possible. I look at combinations and confluences of indicators lining up as different groups of people lining up, and you'll put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade if you're in the company with this as many buyers as possible. Secondly, want to make sure that you have a good risk to reward ratio based upon valid support below you and based upon realistic resistance above you. If I'm going to risk $100, I want to be able to make 200 or more to the downside. And then number 3, always keep in mind how many positions you have, how correlated they are. You don't want to have a lot of correlated positions all at the same time because they're going to probably go up together or down together. So you want to have a variety, a mixture of positions. And then also take a look at your account heat. I have a rule. I don't want to have more than 60% of my total capital at risk at any one time. So we're going to go down through the candidates. We'll go through them. First of all, we'll see if any look good, and then the ones that make the cut, I'll go through them with a fine-tooth comb and try to pick the very, very best one at the end of the day, if at all. Right? And then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, happy to answer them. If you want me to look at any stock symbols, happy to look at those for you. If there's any stock symbols that you'd like me to look at before the close, just put them in the chat, put an asterisk by it, and I'll do my very best to get to it. And then lastly, if you have any new entries or new exits for up on the board. Please, if you could wait till the end of the day to let me know what those are, just to save time. And I always seem to get them wrong, and when I try to do them in the day, and I think time's better spent, analyzing potential entries. So if you could wait till the end, I would appreciate that. So, all right. Well, listen, hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in just a second. Thanks a lot. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, David is here. Hey, David, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And Frank is here. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Always nice to have you in the group. All right, well, let's get to it. Boy, what are we starting out with? Oh, we're starting out with gold. Okay, that's okay. So gold, been in this trade for a bit now. Looks like Gary's in this trade as well. I did buy gold back here on the 10th of June when we had the 520 crossover, about half here at the close. Next day, I was hoping for a little backfill to get a little better price, and I did. Average price here, 162.78 with the 520 crossover. Just to move sideways. Then we had a nice leg up. I phased out a little bit there. We moved sideways again, and then a little phase up, and then a little phase up, and I did hit another profit target today. So far, this has been a really, really nice trade. We're at 67.26. We're getting near the third ATR channel. Rubber band stretching a little bit here, so I'm definitely going to be watching that. But as long as it keeps moving up, as long as it doesn't reject the 70 RSI, and as long as it keeps hitting profit targets, I'm good with it. I will just keep it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, this was a real bummer on Goldman Sachs. My gosh, this is a good example of having a really good technical entry. We had a close under, close back over the 200-day moving average. We also had a 520 crossover. These both back test well for Goldman Sachs. It was a nice clean break above the 200-day moving average. Fractal as well. And bought here 207.23. Today it's at 199.88, down 3.61%. So if this closes below the 200-day moving average, what it definitely looks like it's going to, I'm going to have to just get out of this trade. So Frank, good thing Frank only bought a half a position, because Goldman Sachs, he said they don't get along very well, and you are right, did not. Quad, Steve Burns, Karen, Bob, and Gary also in this trade. But again, it's just a reminder, no matter how good the trade looks, position size accordingly, know your maximum risk, because boy, I had hopes for this one, but everybody wanted it yesterday. Nobody wanted it today. So getting out underneath it if it closes under the 200. Merck. All right, so I did buy Merck back on July 1st. I bought it at 78.21. We went under 50, over 50. We had a MACD crossover. We triggered this fractal over here. A fractal's a high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. I liked it to happen in the value zone. It's moved up nicely since then. Down a bit today, not up to the orange line. The orange line is 1 ATR for my entry. Once it gets there, I start to trail the trade, but it has not quite got there, so I'm not in trailing stop mode yet. I will get out of half of my position if the price closes below both the 5 and the 20 EMA. I'll go ahead and get rid of the rest of the position if the 5 actually closes under the 20 EMA. So anyway, try to be positive. It's still up on the trade, so I am happy for that. Okay, well, my ups are down today and my downs are ups. That's how it goes. So I did short PayPal yesterday at 176.05. We went over 70, under 70. We rejected the third ATR channel. We had a V1. We had a bearish engulfing bar. Lots of bearish indications going on here. But just like with Goldman Sachs, just because you have a lot of bullish indications doesn't mean it's going to go up. Just because you have a lot of bearish indications doesn't mean it's going to go down. It was much higher earlier. So anyway, not so bad. It's down 0.6, just a little over 0.5%. But I did short here at 176.05 and it's at 177.16. So glad that it's come off of its high. I will get out of this if we have a close back over the 70 RSI. SPY, real quick, in case we have new viewers, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk and I sell it first thing the next morning. I do this because of a long-term backtest study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Tested this approach, the two different approaches, every day since 1993. First approach, buy the SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell at the close. This approach done every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, that's where I feel that the edge in this approach comes, and then sell it first thing the next morning, 634.2% return. So this shows that more than all of the gains in the S&P since 1993 have not come during the day. They've come overnight. You're taking, you get paid to take risk, just like when you're selling options, right? You get paid to take risks, and in my opinion, the benefit of this approach comes from taking the risk overnight. Now, sometimes you take the risk and you got the risk. Remember at the beginning of the year, that was horrible, absolutely horrible. But over time, well, past performance, no guarantee of future results. We know that. That goes for any trading approach, even buy and hold investing, right? Blue line is a buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Orange line's buy in the morning, sell that afternoon. Over time, all this has done is gone up. There's been ups and downs, just like if you were holding mutual funds or just an ETF, there's ups and downs, but over time it has gone up. So with that being said, I did buy SPY yesterday at 317.05, got out this morning at 315.38, so had a little bit of a loss. Had a nice run last week, but a little loss here, decent gain here, huge gain here, huge gain here, and then medium loss today. So anyway, we'll be buying this again at the end of the day. USO I bought on the weekly, so this is a kind of a longer term trade. These weekly trades take a long time to work themselves out. I did buy back on 619.20. We had a higher low V1. We had an under 30, over 30. I bought at 28.25. Basically just gone sideways for the last couple weeks. It's 28.83, so I am technically up on the trade a little bit, which is good. But these take a while. It looks like Karen's in this as well. All right, those are my normal positions, regular swing trade positions. Now let's go and take a look at some of my day trades. Not my best day trading today. Had some winners, had some losers, but I'll show you. First one, I did short Apple here. See the V1 and the rejection of the 50-day moving average and the loss of the 50 RSI. So V1, loss of the 50, loss of the 50 RSI. I shorted it here at 376.53. Had a great initial bar, just beautiful. I almost covered down here when right at the 100 because I felt like it was going to bounce, but I thought, no, I'll just wait till the end of the bar, and I had to cover higher. But it was a good trade. Shorted 376.53, and I covered at 375.67, so almost $1. Then I had this. We closed below the 1 ATR channel. We rallied. Here we washed out the previous low. I got in when it triggered. I didn't wait till the end of the bar. I got in intrabar 376.22 to the upside. Immediately went my way. It felt really good. Then we had this sidewards bar, and then bam. So it obviously closed below halfway of the washout bar. Started out really well, but I got in here. Luckily, I didn't get up here, but I did get in here at 376.22, and I got out at 375.87. So that one was a loss. This was a nice little winner. This was a nice little loser. And then I remember I was on with Kamal when I bought this, but this was a great setup. It was a false breakout to the downside from over here, plus a V1, and we closed in the value zone, and we closed above the 100-day moving average. Bought that at 375.46, and boom, next bar. I mean, it wasn't a big loss, but it's unfortunate when you wait for, you know, a nice setup like that. But let's see, what was it? 374.76, and I got out at 375.26. So not my best day on Apple. Okay, there's that. Now let's go to AGQ. AGQ, I did buy this on the fractal chart. Here's the fractal, here's the high. We had two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. I got in at 143.51. Oh no, sorry. That's Johnson & Johnson. Here we go. Here's the fractal. Here's the high, two lower highs to the left and the right. Bought here intrabar when it triggered at 29.65. Immediately went up my way, then reversed, and then looked good again. My stop on this particular one is a close below the red line of the three moving averages on this fractal chart. So it hung in there here, and then the next bar got out. So I got in at 29.65 and I got out at 29.62. So I lost 13 cents on it. Not too bad. Started out promising. And then J&J. Finally, can we get a winner in here? Here we go. Here's the top of the fractal. Two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. The alligator is sleeping. If you watch my videos on fractals, you know, here you can see the alligator is awake and he's eating. See here, the alligator, it's all intertwined, which basically means you have sideways motion. So I got in here when it triggered. I got in at 143.51 and immediately just raced up. And I was like, nice. But then I got more than one ATR for my entry and closed below the low. So got in at 143.51, got in out at 143.63. So anyway, that's that. Down on the day, but at least a couple things went. Gold was good. And some of the day trades. That's about it. But that's how it goes. You know, not every day is a winning day. Sometimes it's frustrating. Most of the time, trading is frustrating, no doubt. Yesterday was such a great day. Everything was up. Everything worked. But that's how it goes. Evan, D thoughts. Thoughts on D? I'm not even sure what D is. Dominion Resources. Did we go under 30 yesterday? 30.96 yesterday, and then we were definitely under 30 today. Yes, look, it is an under 30, over 30, but that's all it is. That is really all it is. You know, as I said at the beginning of the program, in my opinion, it's always better to have a confluence. Now, if this was on the Qs or the SPY or a big index like that, I might consider it. But being that this is under the third ATR channel, you have this huge monster bar yesterday with tons of selling. You have a little bit of a bounce today, which kind of makes sense. It's on lower volume. Me personally, I would not get involved with that one if it were me. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Hey, Kamal, good to see you, bud. Frank has a poem for us. Block. Okay, we got a 2 blocker. Make it this copied. Don't let your Don't let your gain slip away or continue to suffer a loss decay. It's not okay. The market can strike like a snake bites its prey, and your position's based on market conditions. And always be ready to make a transition. That's right. You got to be flexible, right? Let's try it one more time. Don't let your gain slip away or continue to suffer loss decay. It's not okay. The markets can strike like a snake bites its prey. Adjust your positions based on market conditions and always be ready to make a transition. Thank you. So good, Frank. So good. Let's see. Now my little note thing's not working. Oh, come on. Okay, there's one. And there is two. Thank you so much, Frank. I always appreciate those poems, man. Appreciate the hard work. And I hope that they're helpful for people. Every time I read it, I'm like, that's spot on. Gary says, very true, Frank. Good poem. Yep. Glenn, XLP entered a breakout. 59.61. Looks like rotation to staples and bonds is triggering a warning. Yeah. Kamal and I were kind of chatting a little bit back and forth about there does seem to be some kind of a rotation right now. Well, that's a big, that's a big, strong break back above the 200-day moving average. Is it a fractal? Almost. This would be the fractal right here. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah. Well, look, there's a lot of sideways motion going on here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this one breaks out. But yes, you're right. Usually when you see rotation in consumer staples goods, it is a bit of a warning. MACD crossed over 50. Yeah, all in all, pretty strong. Kamal says, I got back into MDB today with the V2 trigger and sideways motion. We'll see if we don't hold the... Okay. So you got in the V, you got in the, do I have the right stock? Yeah, MDB. So yes, it does look like it triggered a V2 here today. So you're gonna hold it as long as it holds the halfway, I suppose. Pinseed, Beyond Meat. All right, Beyond Meat. Not too bad. We closed below the 1 ATR channel. We closed into the value zone. We had some sideways movement. We had a washout of yesterday's bar. We have a V1 closing over 50. It's not too bad at all. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly is, I mean, it's kind of benign to me. I mean, it's not up here near the 3rd ATR channel. I would be concerned about taking it up there. Yeah, not too shabby. All right, let's go through, take a look at everybody's trades at the moment. All right, Frank bought DDOG. Bought it back here on 19th of June. Bought it 84.90. Moved up nicely. Then had to move back down, but right back up. It's up 2.21% today. Congratulations, Frank. Very nice. And after dog, we always talk about cat. Pinsky did buy 124.80 back here on the 25th of June. It's moved sideways, then moved up nicely. It is a little bit down today. It looks like it's lost the 200, but still up on the trade. So very nice. Snap. Big day for Frank. Man, this snap has just been on fire. Frank bought this back here at 1875. Look at this thing. This thing had a little bit of a pullback, but it was just taking a rest before it had another bounce. This thing is up 33% for Frank. So congratulations, Frank. Absolutely fantastic. Looks like we did test that previous high, and we did test the 3rd ATR channel today. CRM, Glenn did buy CRM at 185.11, moved up nicely initially, then had a little bit of pullback, got underwater for a little bit, but just strong the last 6 days. Did reject the third ATR channel, did get close to the 70 RSI. Oh, you took profits, Glenn? Okay. Very nice. Good round number. Okay. Beyond Meat, we just talked about Beyond Meat. Frank bought that down here at 127.08. It's done very, very well. I mean, if I was in this trade, I would like this action today with this higher low V1 and the sideways motion there. Be nice if it can close over 52, but very nice, Frank. Dexcom. Glenn bought Dexcom on June 15th at 375.16. Immediately went up his way, had a pullback right back into the value zone, which doesn't surprise me, and right back up. So very nice, Glenn. TLT. I know this is Frank. Frank, a bunch of us actually, right? We bought this all together back here at 156.10, rejection of the 30 and rejection of the 6 ATR channel. Moved up nicely. I got out right here with the close below the previous day's low. Then it kind of moved around. But like Glenn said, you know, bonds, consumer staples moving up strongly today. So very nice on that, Frank. Brew. Evan bought Brew at 1539, moved sideways, had a huge move up, and it's given most of it back, but still profitable on the trade. Glenn had a beautiful short here at 1943 on NCLH, which is Norwegian Cruise Line. Beautifully went his way, then a little bit of sideways motion, tried to rally a little bit, but it's come back down 4.77% today. Kamal did buy UAA at 983, and it's basically just kind of moved sideways ever since he's bought it. So there's some price discovery going on here. Is down 3.23% today. Underwater a little bit on the trade here. SPY, Frank did buy SPY with this bounce off the 200-day moving average, 302.52. Immediately went up just beautifully, but down a little bit today, but still nicely up on the trade. Glenn did buy Newmont Gold, which is a gold mining company. Bought it here at 58.10 on 626. Just gone up ever since, up 1.9% today. Very nice. Google. Okay, so Steve Burns did buy Google yesterday, right here at the close, about 1500. Was up nicely earlier, but now down slightly. And Work, Kamal did buy Work yesterday. Oh, good. I didn't look at that one. With this higher low V2, bought it at 3106. It's 3169, up 1.83%. So nice trade there. And last but not least is Monster Energy. Steve, Karen, and Bob bought Monster Energy at 71.32. It's up nicely today, 1.75%. So congratulations, Steve, Karen, and Bob. All right, I think that covers them, but I see almost all of them are in the money. Some of them are just slightly underwater, but that's what I like to see. Kamal says, nice hold on Snap, Frank. Absolutely, that was a beautiful trade. Steve says, I will be exiting Goldman Sachs if the 520 EMA cross under happens today. Yeah, this is one of those that actually could happen today. Let's see. Yeah, we're under right now. So this was a huge reversal. You know, we had the 520 cross yesterday. We had the close above the 200. And today it looks like it's going to wipe out both approaches, both entries. So I'm definitely going to get out of this if it closes under the 200-day moving average. Good to see you, Steve. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Always nice to have you. Frank says, thank Kamal. You know that I'm trying to make longer holds. Well, that's what makes a lot of money, the longer holds, if you have the guts and the stomach for it. Alan C. Hello, Alan C. Good to see you, Alan. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Okay, Quadracer says, same, Steve. GS is looking like it's going to be close. Yeah, it's been tough. What did we have? The other financial we had too was a dog Goldman Sachs, and I can't remember what it was, but it was almost exactly the same thing. Had a beautiful, beautiful move up, and then the next day just violently reversed. Okay. So listen, before we go on to my watch list, before we look at the candidates, before I start to go through them with a fine-tooth comb, try to narrow down, look for the best combination, confluence of signals at the end of the day for my end-of-day candidate. Before we do that, I want to get out of charts a little bit, out of entries, talk about the mind, talk about trading psychology, talk about trading philosophy, the important parts of trading. Honestly, 80% of whether or not you're going to be a profitable trader or not is whether or not basically you can stick to your plan, create a good plan based upon, good support, good risk to reward with resistance above you, position sizing correctly, keeping your maximum loss standardized, phasing out. I like to phase out all the things we talk about, but the psychology part of that is the most important. You can put together the best plan, but if you don't follow it, it doesn't matter. So there's some really good Facebook channels out there, really good Twitter channels out there. And one of my very favorites is Thomas Paine at Trader T Paine on Twitter. I've mentioned this before, but Thomas formerly was a scientist and decided to turn his attention to trader, and boy does he know trading psychology. He really gets into the depths of it, and whenever he has a post, I really like to read it. So let's see what Thomas has to say today. You might think chart patterns are the holy grail of trading, but the way you think and behave works in patterns too. You can be an expert at reading charts, but still not know what the hell you are doing or why you are doing it. Learn the patterns of your mind. I mean, isn't that spot on? We all have we're always looking at indicators for patterns, but what about the patterns that happen inside of our mind? Right? We have the same patterns. We have the same emotions. We justify things. Right? So instead of always looking at the screen and looking for patterns, how about taking some time, sit in a quiet room, think about your trading, go on a hike, think about your trading, which I always do. After I get done trading, I always go for a hike, kind of replay how I traded, what I did right, what I did wrong, what I should do again, what I shouldn't do again. Just look at some game film. Right? But I don't just think about the trades. I think about my mental state at the time that I was doing it. So let's read this one more time. You might think chart patterns are the holy grail of trading, but the way you think and behave works in patterns too. I think that's key. The way you think and behave works in patterns as well. You can be an expert at reading charts, but still not know what the hell you are doing or why you're doing it. Isn't that true? Learn the patterns of the mind. Learn your charts, learn the patterns in your charts, and learn the patterns in your mind. And if you find a pattern that you don't like, find a way to circumvent that pattern or change it. Steve Burns was saying the other day, there's a lot of great technical analysts who can't trade. Well, that's why. Well, they can definitely hit a buy or sell button. That's not too difficult. But they may be great at analyzing charts, but they're not great at dealing with their behavior. I'm sure of that. That's why I've said before, I think the very best trading team is a really good technical analyst and then a trader that makes the trades, gets in when they're supposed to, gets out when they're supposed to, manages. I really think two people with strength in different departments coming together, absolutely the best. So anyway, thank you, Thomas Paine. Please subscribe to Thomas on Twitter at Trader T Paine. All right. Kamal says, Frank, it's definitely exercise in patience. Yes. Hey, Zach, good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good day, my friend. All right. Well, let's, I'm going to take one more quick look at my current position, see if anything needs to be changed. Here we have gold. We did hit one profit target today. Be nice to hit a second one up there. Goldman Sachs is definitely the stinker of the day. It looks like it is definitely going to lose the 200-day moving average and possibly the 520 cross under. Merck, doing okay, still profitable, but down on the day. PayPal, that's my short. Underwater on this a bit, well off of the high, which I'm glad for that. We did reject halfway of the big down bar. I think I'm just going to go ahead and hold this for a close over the 70. SPY looks like it's closing on its lows at the moment. USO down a bit today. All right, then Apple, I can get rid of all those. Those were day trades. And AGQ, day trades. And J&J. All right, I can get rid of that one. You kidding me? All right, I'll do it this way then. How's that? Okay. All right, let's go down to the candidates, see what's happening. What are we down? We're down 300 points now. Wow. Let me clear up something over in this account that I manage. Done. Okay, here we go. First on deck, Pet Med Express. Well, this has been kind of a wild one. I remember taking a trade on here. You know, we had a 520 cross yesterday. I believe we had the 520 cross yesterday. We've made a lower high. We do have a MACD crossover. We went under 50, over 50 yesterday. I just don't really see anything clean here. You know, I mean, when you look at the chart, you can see it's not very clean. It's not like a pullback. It had a little bit of a pullback and then a nice move back up. You know, we were up and then way down and then up. Yeah, we do have MACD over 50 RSI. Look at the weekly. I mean, it is moving sidewards. It is a V2 on the weekly. I guess I'm sure that's why it came up on Kamal's screen. But I just don't see anything clear here that I like. Bluebird Bio, BBB. Wow. Well, so a lot of things going on here, right? I mean, we have a false breakout to the downside. Yesterday or today. Yesterday we went below. Today we're back up in the old range. We had a V2. I mean, it's a monster bar. We're over 50 RSI. Tons of volume. Let's look over at the weekly. Weekly created a V1. I like the weekly better than the daily. Actually, we do have a V1 here on the day on the weekly. But at this point, I just don't think the risk to reward makes that much sense. I mean, if you used your stop of halfway of the washout bar, this is way down here. That's a big stop. I mean, you could use something like the 50 if you wanted to give yourself a little better risk to reward, losing the 50 RSI and losing the 50-day moving average. That would make sense. Have this high over here. I don't know. It's up 10%. I'm leery about chasing something that's up 10%. So I think I'm going to pass on that one. Uber. See how we come right down and we come right up? See the V? I don't like buying Vs. You know, people that bought down here, they're looking for any reason to get out here. And if they do, that will probably cause the price to come down a little bit. But then if a new group of buyers can come in here, grab that higher low V1, that's where I would be interested in getting in if we could get a higher low V1 for Uber. I took an Uber yesterday. Twitter, well, up nicely today, up 2%. We did look at this yesterday with the close over the 200, but I don't like, again, I don't like the V formation. V formations generally don't hold. They come down, they form a little bit of V, then they come back down, and then a little higher low is a much better place to enter than right here. I mean, who knows? Twitter could just go roaring up. I mean, obviously it could. But I'm just talking about tendencies. These type of V formations, they tend not to hold. They tend to then come back. A higher, if we could come back below the 200 and then back over the 200 with a higher low break back over the 200 compared to just a deep V break over the 200, that's where I would definitely be more interested. KMX, which is CarMax. Well, this is kind of what I was talking about. You know, we come down, then we make a V, and then that V usually doesn't hold. This is exactly a perfect illustration of that. Come down, people that were lucky enough to buy here, once it got a little weak here, that's what's probably causing the down move today. So, you know, ideally on CarMax, if we could come down another day, get a V1 or a V2 here, rejection of the negative 1 ATR channel would be great. That would be great as well, but I don't see anything on CarMax. Momo. Well, we had a huge day up yesterday, and Zach, if you're out there, you can see we had the big bar up yesterday, and we did have a little backfill today, but it looks like, you know, it tested near that halfway point and then bounced. You know, if I saw this big bar up and then today it was sitting about halfway, I would probably go intraday and see if there's some kind of trade on an intraday basis, being that yesterday we had the big bar up, today we held the halfway, so that's from a bigger time frame. That's good that it's holding the halfway, but you'd have to look for an entry, which would be going in intraday. So I didn't see anything. I wouldn't buy this here today either. J&J. It is a higher low V1, is above the 50 RSI. MACD is positive. It's not bad. Not too bad. I'm going to write this one down. Give me one sec. All right. Well, it's not too bad. Under 50, over 50, MACD is positive. Weekly, we're in the value zone. Above the 50 RSI. And it is strong today, too. That's another thing to think about, right? The relative strength is pretty good today, too. CRPT, Copart was up much higher earlier. Well, we made it above a lot of moving averages, that's for sure. And now these are, you know, these are support underneath. MACD has not crossed over yet. We have crossed over 50. Weekly is nice. It's above 50. It's above all the moving averages. Above 50 RSI. Well off of its highs, but it is up today. Anything that's up today is a plus to me. All right, let me just do a little math here. Okay, that's CRPT. Walmart. I don't know what happened with Walmart. Look at this. Holy smokes. I mean, could you imagine if you would have caught the V2 intraday? I wouldn't buy it now, but at some point today there was a V2 right here. Man, I wish I wasn't watching that, but I like it. It's a higher low V2 double test of the 200-day moving average. I mean, now we're at 66.53.49, so I think the meat is all off of that bone. You're at the third ATR channel, but look at the volume here. I'm not sure what happened. Triggered a fractal right here. Here's the high with two lower highs to the left. But anyway, I think the bus has left the station, or the train's left the station on that one. But wow, I mean, on a stock like Walmart to be up 6%. Paycom software. Don't really see anything here that's interesting today. ZUO. Don't really see anything interesting there either. Upwork. We had a trade on that back here, if I remember correctly. I think it was here. Yeah. Kamal and a bunch of us took this right here. I think we wrote it up. I think I got out half here and half here. MDB. I really don't see anything there either. DKNG, I know Kamal pointed this out to me, but you see here, I don't have see Kamal how I don't have a 50-day moving average on here? I don't know why. Maybe I guess there's not enough bars, but I know you were looking at it as far as a false breakout to the downside, but right now it looks like it is a breakout to the downside. Down 6% today, yeah. Philip Morris, man, what happened with Philip Morris? I guess it's the consumer discretionary staple move that Glenn was talking about, the rotation. Wow, nice V1 right here if you got it intraday. See, that's the catch-22 of doing V2s. Sometimes if you wait till the end of the day, you wait for confirmation, you'll get a higher price, but you'll have more confirmation. Other times you'll get a better price if you buy intraday, but then it might untrigger on you and you have to get out, where if you waited to the end of the day, you would have never gotten in. So there's always pluses and minuses, but look, this is right up against this confluence of the 1 ATR channel, the downward sloping 100. You know, if you go back in time, this was the area where that failed. So I think, you know, there definitely was some rotation into Philip Morris today. Philip Morris pays, Philip Morris pays 6.62%. Wow. Don't think I can chase that. However, if it did come back to about halfway, I might be interested then. So we're down 370 points on the Dow at the moment. So my potentials for the day are J&J, CPRT. I really don't see anything else that I like. Johnson & Johnson is now negative. Looks like it's untriggered the V1. So I have this one written down as potential. CPRT, man, I don't like how much it's come off of its high. So I'll go back and revisit those in a minute. Let me take a look at current positions. Gold, glad profit target there. Goldman Sachs is really, really ugly. As a matter of fact, I saw a great short fractal on Goldman Sachs today, but I was like, I'm long the stock. How is that going to work? So I let it go. Well, it would have been a good one. So this is down 3.86. Definitely going to be getting out of Goldman Sachs at the close. Merck's fine. PayPal is up, but off of its high, so I will be keeping that short. I will be buying SPY at the end of the day. Boy, we've had quite the sell-off here, but it looks like I'll be getting a little better price on SPY. USO down a little bit, and Apple is only up 35 cents now. Wow. Frank says, I took a toe in the water position on copper, FCX at 1281. I would like to build on if market agrees. Okay. If you don't mind, Frank, remind me of that after the market closes, okay? And then I'll get it on the board. Glenn says, XLY, XLI, IWM, XLF, and XLE all weak with strength in gold bonds and staples bonds and XLP. Looks like the market wants to drift lower. I agree. Frank says, Goldman and I mutually agree to a quick divorce this morning, out at 202. Oh, fantastic. It was a amicable of divorce. That's good. I am glad to hear that. Come on, blue might be buyable tomorrow if it tests halfway of today's bar. Let's take a look. I agree. These big bars, these big rocket ship bars, you kind of have to, get your emotions in check, because I know they're exciting and you think, man, something must really be going on for people to be buying this. But a lot of times these big bars fail. Or not fail, but you do have some selling off because there's a lot of profit to be taken. So yeah, I agree with Kamal. Oh no, tell me that my screen is not. I think my trading platform froze up, or my charts froze up. Gosh dang it. Yep. Ugh. Let's see if I have enough time to... Yeah, darn it. Sorry, everybody. This happens every once in a while. Well, we'll put a little placeholder up here. Choose wisely today, everybody. Let's see if I can restart. Blue, okay. Glenn says, Walmart is launching Walmart Plus in July. The subscription-based program will compete with Amazon Prime. Oh, I see. Thanks, Glenn, for letting me know. That would make sense. Kamal says, I got into DKNG and got out sometime back once the low broke. Come on, Trade Navigator. You can do it. You can load it back up. It's trying. What do we have? 154. Down 400 points now. All right. I think I can do it. I think we can get it. We're closing in 5 minutes. Okay. Yep, we're good. We're back. Goldman Sachs definitely looks like it's a goner. Merck is down. PayPal is still up. Still up. Boy, that's a tough short when the market's down 400 and your short's up on you, right? SPY, Apple's making a new low for the day. Now it's down. Oh, shoot. It didn't save my... Sorry, everybody. There's a lot of moving parts when you do this podcast. My arms are all over like an octopus. Yeah, out of all these potentials here, I just don't see anything that I honestly really like other than the current positions. Of course, I will take the overnight SPY trade. Gold hanging in there, so that's positive. So it looks like I'm definitely going to be... So we have 4 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cover Goldman. Okay. So Goldman's out of there. PayPal holding. SPY I'm going to buy. Gold strong. I just feel like this is a reach on gold or on J&J. Yeah. I think I'm going to just stick with what I have. I don't think I'm going to have any new positions today other than the SPY. Kamal says, I got into DKNG and got out sometime back once the low broke. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Frank says, the only thing I would respectfully suggest to Dr. Mendelbrot and Williams on market fractals is that they replace the alligator with a curled up fork-tongued rattlesnake. I think that's a valid point, Frank. I think that is a valid point. I had another encounter with the rattlesnake yesterday, just literally right on the steps of my house on the lawn. I think he was drinking out of the sprinkler. Just a little guy last night. Dollar General. Yeah. Let's take a look here. False breakout to the downside from this low over here. No, I don't think this is enough of a washout, but your computer would tell you that, Kamal. Battling there with the 50. Quickly look at a lot of sideways motion. That's probably going one way or the other, but it just, it got denied at halfway of the big bar yesterday. I think I'm just going to let that one go. Gary says, I'm out of GS with the 520 cross under. Okay. All right, so no new positions for me other than the SPY. Yeah, we're definitely selling off here at the end. Oh, could it be? Could I possibly get that second profit target on gold? No. Close, but no cigar. But grateful that that was up for sure. Okay, everybody. Well, not the best day of the year for sure. Yesterday was such a great day. Everything worked. Today, a couple of the parts fell off. But again, that's trading. You can't get too put out about it. It's just ebbs and flows of trading. You got to try to just keep yourself calm and collected and not get too high, not get too low with trading, right? I mean, if I had to distill trading down to one word or one sentence, it would be keep yourself emotionally stable so that you don't do something dumb. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. And I spend a lot of time trying to stay in that zone. And that's mainly has to do with position size, right? Adjusting for volatility and accounting for position size. So anyway, well, listen, let's do this. First, my quick little plug, hope it's okay, but I do offer private teaching and trading lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've had really good success with my clients. I love to teach. I have traded for over 24 years. I have studied with some really great traders and mentors, and teachers like Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Carrie Lavorne, Larry Williams. I studied one-on-one with each one of these gentlemen. They've taught me a ton, different approaches, right? But just because one approach is different from the other doesn't mean it's not valid. They're great approaches to use regardless of what the market's doing. So the course is 5 sessions. It's 3 hours each session, so it's a total of 15 hours. There's a lot of teaching that goes on. There's a lot of back and forth. I teach the first half of the lesson. The second half, I ask questions. We go through charts. I have you teach it back to me. When I sit here and analyze these charts, when you're done with the course, you'll be able to sit down and analyze them as well. It's $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny for the amount of time you get and the one-on-one you get, and basically just all the experience and everything I've learned, right, from the 4 traders that I just talked about, and then my experience as well. So if you've been thinking about it, reach out to me. You can send me an email send me an email. The email is in the description of the video. You can also send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading. But if you do message me, I'll reply and say, hey, let's set up a Skype call. It's just a call for me to get to know you a little bit better. It's a call for you to ask me questions about the course, any questions you have about me. It's not a sales call. I will definitely not ask you, hey, do you want to sign up for the course? I promise you, I'll just say, hey, it's nice meeting you. If you're interested, just send me an email. That's how I like to do it. So there's no pressure, right? And then if you could hit the thumbs up button for me today, I would certainly appreciate that. Helps out the channel, helps grow it, and it just takes a half a second. So, all right, now let's take a look and see. I bought SPY at 313.78. $313.78. Boom, that's for tomorrow. And that's it. That's all that I bought today. I did get out of Goldman Sachs. And if anybody has any other updates, please let me know. Let's see. Okay, so Gary's out of GS. Evan, close brew, time stop. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we don't talk a lot about time stop, but a time stop is when you're in something and it hasn't hit any profit targets, it hasn't hit your stop loss, but it just hasn't done anything. That's what's considered a time stop, and it's definitely a valid approach. And yeah, it hasn't done much. And on a day like today, that's probably not a bad idea. So thank you, Evan. Kamal says, I am out of FAS. Closed below 50 MA. I don't think I had a FAS for you up here. UAA. Okay. Kamal's out of UAA. Keep those losses small. That's good. Bought MWB. MDW. Sorry. MDB. Okay, we got Kamal down for that. Karen, hey, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right, I figured Karen would be out there. So Karen is out. Frank is out at 2:02, so that was good. Did we have the cross under? Yes, we did. So it looks like Steve's going to be out of that as well. So I have quad and Bob left on Goldman Sachs, unless I get an update. Bob is out. Okay. Yeah, bummer. But again, just a good teaching example of a great setup, back tested, well back tested, all of that with the close over the 200, the 520 crossover. That all makes sense, but even the best setups sometimes don't work. If you took this particular setup here 100 times, I would imagine between the 200-day moving average and the 520 crossover, you might be 60 or 65 times out of 100 you would probably win this, but unfortunately this was one that wasn't. Okay, so I have quad left on here. All right, any other updates for me? Any additions or subtractions or jokes or haikus or observations of life or trading? So what's happening after hours here? SPY's up a smidge. PayPal's down a smidge. That's good. Frank says, I try to trade stocks like a beekeeper. I try to trade stocks like a beekeeper raises honey. You mean kind of stand back, Frank, and just kind of let the bees do the work? Speaking of bees, when I went to Vermont to study with Dr. Alexander Elder, we spent 3 full days together, and Dr. Elder is a beekeeper. And I had just arrived to his home, beautiful home, and he kind of showed me around the place. It's just a big, beautiful estate. And he took me out to take a look at his bees, because he kept bees. And he says, oh, come over here, take a look at the bees. So I went over, and immediately this bee came and stung me on my head. So that was my first 5 minutes at Dr. Elder's house. But I like that, Frank. That makes sense. And you've raised a lot of honey on Snap. Try not to get stung. That's right. I think every beekeeper does get stung eventually, though, right? It's just part of the job. Okay. Well, Apple closed down. Interesting. All right. So on tap so far, Merck is profitable, but was down today. PayPal, way off of its highs. Grateful for that, but still a little stuck on the trade, a little underwater on the trade. SPY did have the overnight loss, but got out a couple points higher than it is now. So we'll see what happens with this overnight. USO still positive on the trade, and gold nicely positive on the trade. So I have my good friend, Dr. Jorgensen, coming today. He has been cruising around the country in his brand new, beautiful motor coach, and he's stopping by today after the podcast. So we've been friends for about 30 years. Man, we've traveled all over Vietnam, Mount Kilimanjaro. We went helicopter skiing up in Canada. We went skiing in the summertime down in Chile. Anyway, good friend. He's like my dad. So looking forward to seeing him. right. Well, listen, last chance for any questions. If you have them, let me know. Otherwise, I am going to get out of here and try to put this trading day behind me. I mean, it wasn't the worst, but it was definitely not the best. It wasn't yesterday. Yesterday was A-okay. So let me see. Google, I have Steve Burns in Google, but I'm pretty sure Steve took Google with the 1030 SMA crossover, which is still in play. So I imagine Steve still has that one. And then Monster. Monster is still up a little bit. Rule 1 in the market Bible: the market giveth and the market taketh away. True that. All right, everybody. Well, listen, thanks for coming today. Just 2 quick things before we go. Please try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just say hello, a wave. Just be pleasant. We need a lot more of that. You might really make somebody's day just with the smallest little gesture. So let's try to get in the habit of doing that. And it does help your trading. I have decided that on my own. And then if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here, I would really appreciate that as well. Karen says, thank you so much, Greg. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. You too, Karen. And looking forward to resuming our lessons when your schedule allows. Dan says, thanks, Greg. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. All right. I think that's a wrap for today. So, Gary says, have a great day, everyone. Good. You have a great day too, Gary. All right. Well, we will talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Have a safe day. Take care. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.